Hi, this video is an in-depth comparison between Lenovo Legion Y540 and the 2019 HP Omen 15. Both are powerful gaming laptops, but one of them is meant for gaming and the other, well, it turns out that not exactly. If you don't wanna make a bad choice, you should definitely watch this video before you buy, because today we will compare the performance, thermals, quality, features, other configurations and basically everything that will help you decide which one is better for you. If you don't know my channel yet and you like this kind of comparisons, consider subscribing TechFinds and hit notification bell if you don't wanna miss the upcoming videos. As always, in the video description I left the Amazon links to check the current price, and in the comment section you can find the timestamps to skip to any part of this video. They should work for mobile users as well. I'm Chris and now let's get to the comparison. If it comes to design, both laptops are pretty toned, but I think that Legion looks cleaner. I really like that Lenovo didn't go too crazy. The laptop looks very clean and professional. It's all black, the lid has nice circular grooves that emanate from the logo, the Legion branding on the side has a mirror-like texture and a small white light in the O letter. On the back it has extended exhaust section, which doesn't really make it bigger than other gaming laptops. Inside you can find a clean looking keyboard with the black deck that seems to be covered by soft and nice to the touch layer of rubber. Unfortunately this is a fingerprint magnet, so keep your wiper close. The Omen has more aggressive shapes, but it still looks pretty clean for a gaming laptop. It's all black without any colorful accents, and what is characteristic for Omen laptops is the X-shaped pattern on the lid. The logo is not backlit, this is only a silver mirror-like material which looks great. Inside there's nothing fancy as well. All we can see is the black deck and a clean looking keyboard with touchpad. The back looks awesome, but the hinge in the center makes the screen a little bit more flexy. The fingerprints show easily on the brushed metal surface, but I couldn't really capture it with my camera. However, it is easy to clean. The build quality is another thing to mention, and I think that Omen is the winner here. It feels more premium as it is all made of metal. The chassis was perfectly stiff and solid. I was surprised because you can usually find such top-end quality in over $2,000 laptops like Asus ROG Zephyrus or Razer Blade 15. On the other hand, Legion is made of thick plastic which is pretty solid, and thanks to rubber layer on the deck it feels really good and premium for a plastic laptop. Both laptops come with thin bezel display, and in both you can find a 720p webcam, but in Lenovo it's been moved to the bottom bezel. If it comes to dimensions and weight, both laptops are practically the same, with the only difference that Legion is slightly thicker. The keyboard is where the differences begin. Lenovo is equipped with a professional looking keyboard with characteristic for Lenovo U-shaped keys. It has 1.7mm key travel, good spacing, and the keys are slightly larger than in other gaming laptops that I've tested. It is great and very comfortable to type on, but if you're a gamer you will not like that it doesn't have a dedicated button to open the control center app, boosting the fans or changing the performance mode. If it comes to RGB, the Lenovo Legion Y540 comes with only white keyboard lighting. But if you want RGB, there is more expensive Lenovo Legion Y740, and I will be talking more about it later on. In my opinion, the keyboard in HP Omen 15 is better for gamers. It's still the same keyboard as in the previous generation, so it has 1.5mm key travel, good spacing, it's comfortable to type on and easy to get used to. It has one dedicated key to open the Command Center app, but unfortunately there is no button for instant boosting the fan speed, and the arrow keys are pretty small. You have 4 zones of RGB, where the 4th zone includes only WSAD keys. The light is strong and vivid, but the black keys hide the light when you look at the keyboard at certain angles. There are also configurations of 2019 Omen with red keyboard only, so make sure that you buy the right one. If it comes to touchpads, it was more comfortable for me to use Omen's touchpad. It uses Elan drivers and it is surprisingly precise. As same as Lenovo, it has 2 dedicated buttons for left and right click. The Legion's touchpad uses Windows Precision drivers, so it's got good gestures and tracking. It looks almost the same, but the click sound is audibly louder than in Omen. As for the port selection, another point goes to the HP. Basically both laptops have the same I/O, with only difference that HP has SD card slot and USB-C with Thunderbolt 3, which is very nice to see in this price point. It's missing only a security lock compared to Legion, but I think that it's not a big deal. If it comes to display, my Omen came with 1080p 144Hz IPS panel with about 9 milliseconds response time, and before you ask, this one doesn't support G-Sync because I had the configuration with RTX 2060. If you want G-Sync you have to choose the model with RTX 2070 or 2080. There are also other display options that you can choose, including 1080p 60Hz, 1080p 240Hz and 4K 60Hz. The color coverage of my 144Hz panel was 95% of sRGB color gamut, 73% of Adobe RGB, and the brightness was 329 nits. You can easily use this laptop for content creation. The games look great and smooth, and viewing angles are good. My Lenovo Legion Y540 has 1080p 144Hz IPS panel as well. I couldn't find info about response time, but it was practically the same smooth as Omen. There is no G-Sync 2, and if you want it you have to buy Y740, which comes with 500 nits, Dolby Vision HDR 144Hz display. If it comes to Y540 you have 3 display options, of which 2 are 60Hz, one standard and the other with better color gamut and brightness, and 144Hz one that I've got here. It can reproduce 93% of sRGB color gamut, 74% of Adobe RGB, and the brightness was on the dimmer side, barely scoring 300 nits. The quality of both panels was good. The camera was able to capture some backlight bleeding in both cases, but it was not visible to my eye during normal use, even when the screen was black. Alright, so now let's talk about available configurations and approximated prices of both laptops, but please note that the prices might change with time. So in the video description I left the Amazon links for USA and other countries to check the current prices of certain configurations that I found. The Lenovo website says that Y540 comes with GTX 1660 Ti and RTX 2060 to choose from, but I found GTX 1650 models as well. The same for processors. On the website I found only i5-9300H and i7-9750H options, but there are also configurations with 8th gen processors. If you want something more powerful, you have to buy Lenovo Legion Y540, which you can buy with more powerful graphics cards, up to RTX 2070 Max-Q for 15-inch models and up to RTX 2080 Max-Q for 17-inch models. You have 4 display options that I mentioned before, and the G-Sync is available only with 144Hz screen in Lenovo Y740. The Omen has wider range of configurations, starting from budget models with GTX 1650 plus i5 processor and finishing on top-end RTX 2080 with i9. You have also 4 display options, but the G-Sync is only available with 240Hz and 144Hz one when you have at least the configuration with RTX 2070 or 2080. Worth mentioning is that for the 15-inch models the RTX 2070 and 2080 are actually Max-Q, while the 17-inch models come with full power versions of these graphics cards. Speaking of 17-inch display, both laptops have their 17-inch versions, and the most interesting deal seems to be the HP Omen 17 with full-size RTX 2080. It's actually the cheapest laptop that I've seen with this GPU. It looks like the price to performance ratio of both laptops in lower price point is pretty much the same, but considering that high-end configurations of Legion are Max-Q, I think that it pays off better to buy 17-inch Omen equivalent with full-size GPU that costs even less than Legion. Alright, coming back to the review, let's talk about speakers. The Omen uses Bang & Olufsen audio and it sounds good. It can get loud without distortion and the sound is crispy and clear. There is some bass, but it's nowhere close to something like Asus Scar 3. The same applies to Lenovo. It has practically the same good speakers as Omen. The sound quality is good. Basically, this is what you should expect from a decent gaming laptop. The performance comparison is probably the most exciting part of this review. I had the Lenovo with GTX 1660 Ti and my Omen came with RTX 2060, so obviously I had better performance with it. However, the Legion was not that far behind, which makes me think that it would perform the same good if it had the same GPU. I pushed both laptops to the limits, so for testing purposes I set the performance mode in Omen for more CPU power and I enabled the maximum fan speed for better cooling. Unfortunately, there is no any button for that, so you have to set it each time manually in the Omen's Command Center app. The fans in Legion are automatic, but the performance mode allows them to spin faster, and it also increases the CPU power limit to 50 watts during combined GPU and CPU load. So I tested it on performance mode, which you can enable in Lenovo Vantage app. Here is a quick preview of the game performance, but if you want to see more games tested, check out my gaming benchmark videos where I tested 20 games on each laptop. Links to the videos will be in the description. If it comes to thermals, my Legion was on a warmer side, reaching the average CPU temperature of 89 degrees Celsius and the average GPU temperature of 74 degrees when I tested it with minus 0.150 volt undervolt applied. When I tested it right out of the box on stock settings, the laptop was constantly running on over 90 degrees Celsius, causing performance loss. So it definitely needs tweaking to perform better. Worth mentioning is that it was one of the quietest laptops that I've tested, both on idle and under heavy load. The Omen was louder but not too much, and compared to other gaming laptops, actually Legion and Omen were noticeably quieter. The 2019 Omen is a really crazy laptop, so I made extensive tests to find the best settings. I'm not going to talk about every test separately because you can see it already, but it looks like the most optimal settings for both good temperatures and performance was to set the performance mode and undervolt the CPU by minus 0.130 volts. In my case, it made the power limit to stay at the same constant level of 49 watts. The laptop could still reach the maximum possible clock speed, surprisingly low temperatures without thermal throttling, and practically the same good performance as with other settings that cause much more heat. The default mode, which limits the CPU power to 30 watts, is worth considering as well when your game doesn't need the full power of CPU to reach the highest frame rate. I conclude that both laptops need special care and tweaking to take advantage of the best performance, but you have wider control with Omen. You can manually set the fan speed to maximum, and simple undervolting does much more than in case of Lenovo Y540. Alright, enough about performance, now let's talk about upgradability and storage. I tested the M.2 SSD speeds in both laptops and here are the results. If you will buy any of these laptops with only SSD, you will probably wanna add more storage. So if it comes to accessibility, I find Omen easier to upgrade. You have to unscrew only 6 screws to get access to your RAM, 2.5-inch hard drive, and one M.2 PCIe slot. In Legion it takes more effort to take off the bottom lid due to unusual design, and you have to deal with a special RAM cover. Once inside you can find 2.5-inch drive bay, one slot for M.2 SSD, and 2 RAM slots covered by metal plate. If you worry about breaking something, I made a step-by-step detailed guide where I am showing you how to disassemble and upgrade each laptop. So if you're planning to add more RAM, swap out your hard drive or SSD, you can check it out. Links to the videos will be in the description. As for the battery life, I managed to use the Lenovo for up to 6 hours when browsing the web and doing light productivity work. When gaming, battery died after 1.5 hours. The Omen, which doesn't have Optimus, was a little bit behind. It ran for up to 4.5 hours when light work and 1 hour and 10 minutes when gaming. Alright, it seems to be everything that you need to know to wisely choose one of these laptops, but before we finish, let me share my closing thoughts. So if it comes to the 2019 HP Omen 15, I think that it's a very good and interesting laptop for those who are into tweaking CPU power settings to get the best results. It's one of the fastest RTX 2060 laptops that I've tested this year, and with a slight touch of undervolting, the temperatures are good as well. It has few advantages over the Legion, for example Thunderbolt 3, SD card slot, and wider range of configurations including full-size RTX 2080 for under $2,000. It feels more premium thanks to full metal build, and the price speaks for Omen if it comes to higher end configurations. For the downsides we can include shorter battery life, high temperatures on performance mode without tweaking, and no dedicated button for boosting the fan speed. On the other hand, we have the Lenovo Legion Y540, which is a gaming laptop that seems to gear towards work more than gaming. It has a great and comfortable to type on keyboard, professional looking and clean design, and it works quieter, which is good if you wanna bring it to the class or business meeting and not distract others. However, we can't deny that Legion Y540 is a powerful gaming laptop that can run the most demanding games on ultra settings at respectable frame rates. If you take some time to tweak the settings, it can perform equally with other gaming laptops that have the same specs. It's missing some features compared to Omen, but the price of certain configurations is comparable, and if you want more gaming oriented version, you have higher end Lenovo Legion Y740. For the weak sides we can include high temperatures and no option to manually adjust the fan speed. Alright, so which one is better? In this case I give the win to the 2019 HP Omen 15 because it offers more useful features while the price is about the same. The full metal build makes it more premium, and thanks to full-size graphics cards, the 17-inch models are more powerful. Nonetheless, I believe that there are people who might prefer Legion because of other factors, so I am curious what is your choice. I hope that this video helped you decide, so if you know which laptop you're gonna buy now, let us know in the comments. If you're new to the channel, it would be awesome if you consider subscribing Tech Finds. On my channel you can find detailed laptop reviews, laptop comparisons, gaming benchmarks and more. Now thanks for your time and see you in the next video.